Welcome to High Oracle's Reiki Spiritual Healing Channel. And in many ways, they wanted the chosen ones to live in an assimilation. An assimilation meaning that your thoughts, your mind, your behavior is controlled. You have to think like everyone else. You have a beehive mentality that you are taking directions or protecting the puppet master, the person that is at the top. In many cases, the chosen ones will be able to break out of this mindset. But when they break out of this mindset, it leaves them lonely. It leaves them in a mentality of wanting to, have some kind of relationship with what we want to think of as the family or the people who are supposed to love us. And in many cases, they are trying to thrive off of that type of behavior with chosen ones. So once we break out of this mentality, and this is what I have been talking about, this assimilation, we have to be able to break those frequencies that bound us to these people. So once they understand that, they are in an assimilation, that you can cut the cords to these types of people, the places, those jobs. So let me give you an example. Your parents may have told you that, you work hard all your life, get a job. They never said to you, work hard all of your life and build your own business. Okay, that is only for the chosen ones. Okay, so you will not have that example in your life from your parents who want you to be a part of the assimilation that they've been a part of. They don't want you to have your own business, your own mind. You will go to school and they will tell you that you are going either to get a job, either you are, the top of your class, you're the person that is that's valedictorians, and you're the cream of the crop. In other words, you're going to have the best kind of job you're going to have, and this is what you will think. And when you hit the real world, you will understand that you will have to go through some more doors, so another round of schooling, colleging, in order to even break out of the norm of just with your parents. And you're still in an assimilation when you keep going into those rounds of schooling and college. So you will not, many cases, be able to attain what they say is the American dream by taking these steps. But they are, tricking your mind to believe that you are better, or you are, the pristine, learned person when you are in these types of assimilations. You are being, led. You are being a puppet for these types of corporations who have put this assimilation in order to drive you into, either working for someone, or the mindset that you have, the mindset that your parents have, the mindset that you will give your children. This is the type of cycle, this is the type of pattern that is the psychosis, the mind control, that we as chosen ones can break out of this assimilation. First, by, not teaching our children certain things that were taught to us, not teaching our children or allowing our children to be involved with these types of people, in our life from the past that we're moving away from the school system. So this is why it is important that we start teaching our children our own curriculum about the truth. This is why we have to make sure that we teach our kids about, the colonizers, the enslavers, what happened. And again, in this assimilation, they are going to turn the men against women, because for some reason they're going to try to make them believe that this is the society that they created, that they cannot move forward because of the behavior of the women. Okay, and this is what has been going on, and this is what we have to break out of, by also teaching the holy books to our children. This is why we want to teach the holy books, because now they get a chance to see and know what kind of roles. They know their roles as males. They know their roles as females. They know what God has given to them, of the strength that they have, different types of abilities that they have, and we are able to break them and keep them out of this assimilation, so that they do not believe that it is, somebody is supposed to give them something, somebody is supposed to teach them, somebody is going to, be there to pick them up, when they make mistakes. This is going to be a learning curve, that we learn from our mistakes. Okay, that we learn that, the male and the female have a different role in life, but it is the same role when we are serving God. Okay, so these are the understandings, how we have been, caught in this rut, these types of patterns, why it is mind control, why they are practicing brainwashing, why it is they're practicing sacrifices. Because if you are not in alignment with the entity to assimilate, to be productive, to give your gifts away, to give your mental capacity away, to sacrifice your children for money, to sacrifice yourself for entertainment, to go to work, and work all of your life and still want to try to get up and do something when you're 50 and 60 years old, then you have been, caught in this pattern. You have been caught in the assimilation in order to, conform to the entity, in order to be rewarded by, the reward system given by the colonizers, the enslavers, the entity against, in many cases, this is only happening against those who are poor and against your own people. Okay. So anytime that you're not thinking for yourself, you're not able to think for yourself, and you are upset, you don't want somebody to speak around you any truth, you don't want somebody to disagree with you, this is what we have had from old. We are supposed to, be able to have a meaningful conversation. I don't want to debate with you. I want to dialogue on facts. So in many cases, we're having the people that are in our lives, our husbands, because, they practice intimidation. A lot of men want to practice intimidation, especially the narcissists. They don't want to have a meaningful conversation. They want to be right. And if you go in a different direction than what they're used to, than what they understand, then they are ready, to intimidate. They're ready to harm. They're ready to, fight and all of these things, because they can't see a different way. They can't see the patterns that have been given, in society, in the home. All they are understanding is that, as society, we are supposed to be relying on the women to do certain work. We shouldn't have to do work when we get off work. This is one of those assimilations. We don't have to deal with our kids when we get off work, because our only job is to deal with the job. If we bring home most of the money, then we don't have to, deal spiritually with our family, with our wife. We don't have to spend time with our people. We only need to spend time with them to make ourselves look good. So once you are out of this, matrix, out of the assimilation, and you understand that this has been the problem all the time, then you're going to start pulling your power back. You're going to start pulling yourself out of these relationships. You're going to pull your children out of these schools. You're going to figure out a way to educate, earn your own money. You're going to want to be around like-minded persons, and ultimately God is going to attract you to, the business dealings, the relationship, and your pair in your life. This is what you have been missing. This is what you need. You need your tribe in order to have that like-mindedness, in order to break that spell over you, in order to, have a different point of view, so that we can move forward in our lives without being in a simulation where the entity, where these people in high places, where these people in these companies are trying to brainwash your children in order to, work for them for many years and end up with nothing, never leave a legacy. You don't owe your children anything, but they have given their children everything. Okay, so now that we are, exposing these types of behaviors, we're exposing those people who are going along with the assimilation, who want to, be rewarded because of the assimilation, then they are being cleansed out of our lives. A lot of the men, a lot of the black men have been cleansed out of our lives because they are in alignment with the entity to enslave their own people, to miseducate, to mistreat, and to be a part of that type of assimilation. And I hope that you received this message. So please like, share, and subscribe to me. You can book your one-on-one life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions so that I can acclimate a gift to your situation. If you are being stuck in the matrix, if you are, in a patterns and cycles, please book your life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions in the description below. You can also make sure that you're donating to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm High Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.